Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Now, this is a video I was hoping I wouldn't have to make this early in the preseason process. I was hoping to let it all play out before I make any updates, but unfortunately, as we can see, J.J McCarthy is very likely out for the season. And I think that's a big enough injury to completely change how I view the season going forward. So let's get into some updates for my season predictions. So we're going to reset the bracket here, and we're going to go back to week 1. Now, other than the J.J. McCarthy news, there hasn't been anything too significant, so that's good. But we will try to run through this pretty quickly. So Chiefs over Ravens. I believe I had the Ravens winning this in my previous video, and I'm going to have them winning it again. Bengals over the Patriots. The Patriots in their preseason debut, I saw absolutely nothing to be hopeful about. And I know that's not saying much because they didn't play their starters hardly at all. I know Drake May got one drive, Jacoby Brissett got like one drive, but there was nothing that I saw from the Patriots that really tells me that, they're going to be very exciting at all. I still have the Dolphins over the Jaguars. The Jaguars, I think I maybe underestimated them previously. And part of that is because I don't really have faith in their wide receivers. I don't really have faith in their offensive line, but I do like Trevor Lawrence. So it's a team I think I'm going to have to monitor more, pay closer attention to, as the preseason continues to play on. The Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are about as expected, with everything I've seen so far. It sounds like there's some possibility that Odell Beckham Jr. might miss week 1. I'd have to go back and look at that, but we'll see. As it stands, though, I would still take the Dolphins in week 1. The Texans over the Colts, I'll still take the Texans. Raiders Chargers, I will still take Chargers. Titans Bears quite easily. I did go back and watch the preseason debut of Caleb Williams, and oh my god, that guy is special. I still have questions about Matt Eberflus as a coach. I don't recall who they brought in to be their new offensive coordinator. I'd have to go and look at that more closely. But I know they brought in a new coordinator. And I know that Matt Eberflus is a defensive head coach, so I think we should tamper our expectations a little bit on the Bears offensively. But I do think Caleb Williams is exactly as advertised, if not even more. And especially if that right tackle they have, Darnell Wright, I believe is his name, if he can, take a leap forward and be better than he's been, and they drafted that left tackle just last year, who looked pretty good. I can't think of his name off the top of my head for some reason. It's not Paris Johnson Jr., because Paris Johnson Jr. Went to the Cardinals, I believe, but there was another tackle from that class last year that was supposed to be really good, and I can picture him in my head, I just can't think of his name. Falcons Steelers, I will take the Falcons. Cardinals and Bills, I am still going to take the Bills. Seahawks Broncos, I think I'm lower on the Seahawks than anyone else. I don't have faith in Geno Smith or Sam Howell. They got a new head coach, new coordinators, new system. There's a lot of stuff going on in Seattle that makes me think this is probably going to be a down year for them. And so part of me is maybe the Broncos could pull out a win. And of course, Bo Nix played quite a bit in this first preseason game for the Broncos, and he looked fine. I watched that game. I try to watch all the rookies, quarterbacks at least. I try to watch all the rookie quarterbacks, and what I saw from Bo Nix, I wasn't exactly impressed by. There was it wasn't too flashy, but it looked like the kind of quarterback that Sean Payton would want. So I think, as much as I don't think Sean Payton is the greatest coach ever, and I have my own thoughts about Sean Payton, but with Sean Payton being Sean Payton and the limitations that I think he can put on people and players, I think he will be able to maximize Bo Nix with his scheme, because his scheme, the way he runs an offense doesn't really necessarily require any kind of hero ball. And I don't think they'll ask Bo Nix to do any of that. So just as long as he can complete passes and, get 5-6 yards per play and occasionally, throw it deep, I think Bo Nix will have a fine year. I don't think he'll be anything more than that. If his ceiling is like an Alex Smith, Andy Dalton type, I don't think they'll be upset about that at all. Even if it's like a low-end Derek Carr as the ceiling for Bo Nix, I still don't think they're going to be upset about using pick number 12 on that. I think Bo Nix is probably just going to be a guy that is good, but is he good enough, Maybe he's the new Kirk Cousins in that regard. I don't know. That's a long ways away from finding that out, but this matchup right here in week 1, I think, is going to tell us a lot about the season. Not that week 1 is like super important, but with these two teams right here, I think this is my biggest coin flip of week 1. Like, this could go either way. And as it stands right now, I think I am sort of talking myself into the Broncos beating the Seahawks there. The Cowboys and Browns. This is a very defensive-heavy matchup. I think I mentioned that before. CeeDee Lamb is in a contract dispute. Who knows what's going on there? At the time of recording this, on August 14th or whatever it is, I think I'm going Browns week 1 to beat the Cowboys. Jets, Niners, again, I think this is going to be a pretty defensive-focused matchup, but I think the Niners are much better, even if they do end up trading Brandon Ayuk, which I don't think is very likely at this point. We'll see. Packers over Eagles, I feel pretty confident about that. Saints over Panthers, even though I think both of these teams are quite bad. I will still take the Vikings over the Giants in week 1. After this, I think it gets much harder for them without J.J McCarthy, of course, because, I've been high on McCarthy ever since the draft last year, and you can go back and watch some of those videos if you want. And, maybe I say some absolutely outlandish take that you can hold me accountable for, because it's all there for you to see. Commies and Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Buccaneers. And this is another game that I think will be quite close to close out week 1, the Rams and the Lions. Right now, I kind of want to go Rams because Jahmyr Gibbs is dealing with a hamstring injury right now. And I think he is hugely important to that offense. But it sounds like he won't miss significant time, so maybe they just rest him week 1 as a precaution. So Rams over the Lions. Now week 2. So this is where things are going to really start to speed up, because I don't want to spend 6 hours doing this. Bills, Dolphins, week 2. I will honestly take the Dolphins. I think the Bills are going to have a slow start. There's a lot of new pieces in place in Buffalo. They drafted Keon Coleman, who I was never the highest on. And I think, I think there's just a lot they have to work out before they really get the gears going in Buffalo. So I will take the Dolphins. I will take the Jets over the Titans. I will take the Browns over the Jaguars. Like, I got some comments in my last video about how low I rated the AFC South. But I think the thing with the AFC South is I don't think any of the teams except the Texans are exceptional in any way. And I think they have some really tough schedules. So I think it's just really hard for a team like Tennessee or a team like Jacksonville to overcome that, especially in the early weeks. But we'll see. Ravens over Raiders I will take quite comfortably. Steelers over Broncos, even though who knows who the starting quarterback for the Steelers is going to be at this point. Whether it's Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, I don't really think it matters because I think they're both not good. And just Justin Fields is like historically bad passer, you know, like Justin Fields is just not very good. So I would hope they don't try and make something out of a guy that has nothing, but we'll see, I suppose. Chiefs over Bengals coming off of a mini bye. I feel alright about that. The Packers over the Colts. Now, the Packers, I think, are a little overrated, I will admit. And maybe I, too, sort of fell in line with some of the national media talking points with the Packers. I do expect them to be quite good. I do want to clarify. I do expect the Packers to be good. I expect them to be a playoff team, but maybe, toned down a little bit compared to where I had them before. But we'll see. Again, this is all preseason rankings, so this is mostly just to get kind of a sense of who I think will be in the playoffs. It's not necessarily about record specifically. I'm more so trying to get a look at seeding for the playoffs. So that's what that is. Chargers over Panthers quite easily. The Panthers have way too many issues. Seahawks, Patriots. I will honestly take the Patriots right now. I think the Patriots, I was low on their defense, I will say, compared to last season because they lost Bill Belichick, and, I had some concerns about whether or not the defense would be sustainable. And I know Matt Judon is having a contract dispute. I think there's another player that might be Christian Barmore, I think, might be having a contract dispute with the Patriots right now. I think that'll all get sorted away. I'm not worried too much about that. But, watching the starters play in New England for the one or two drives that they did, I think the defense will be fine. Offensively, though, there is nothing. So, the way I've always viewed it is that a phenomenal offense can carry a bad defense. A bad defense only really, drags a bad offense. Or a good defense only really drags a bad offense. I think I said that wrong there. But, the better your defense is, the more likely they are to just kind of drag through the season. But the more your defense is out there, they will get worn down. They will get beat just in a war of attrition. If you can't sustain a drive offensively and your defense has to go back there after a 3-and-out, that's bad. And the more you do that, the worse it gets. So we'll see. I think the Patriots are just going to be beat up, I think they're going to be worn down later on in the season. But in week two, I think they will still be playing to the best of their ability, and I think that's good enough to beat the Seahawks. Later on, though, I don't have much hope, so we'll see. Bears, Texans, I will take the Texans at home in week 2. I think this will be a very fun game, though. I will circle this one on the calendar. Caleb Williams versus CJ Stroud. I think this will be a great offensive lineup. 49ers over the Vikings. I believe I had the Vikings winning this last time, but again, that is almost purely because I think J.J. McCarthy is really, really good. I think he's much better than a lot of people think. I know the public perception on him is pretty low, but based on everything I've seen from J.J. McCarthy, that is a guy that that I think will win. And I said on Twitter a couple weeks ago after we saw J.J. McCarthy play his first preseason game, I said something to the effect of, J.J. McCarthy seems like the kind of guy that you don't sit, right? J.J. McCarthy seems like the guy that learns from reps because, reps are the best way to develop talent. Always has been, always will be. I mean, even with Jordan Love, right? Yeah, he sat for 3 years and now he looks good. But those first 8 weeks, for Jordan Love, those were not pretty. Those were ugly weeks of football. So I can understand why some people might be questioning why he got the contract he did. Um, but, it did take time for Jordan Love to get to where he was. And that's because, there's only so much you can learn from a clipboard, right? So that's another reason why this injury for the Vikings, I think, is so huge. Because those are reps that J.J. McCarthy is no longer getting. Especially because all the reports were saying, after that preseason game, he was set to get more reps with the first team. He was going to start against Cleveland in that preseason game. He was going to get more time to get comfortable with the offense, and I think he was just going to take off and run away with the starting gig, but we know how that ended, unfortunately. Dallas over the Saints quite easily. I will take the Commies over the Giants, the Bears, or this is not the Bears, this is the Lions over the Buccaneers. I'll take the Rams over the Cardinals and the Eagles over the Falcons. Moving on to week 3. It's a lot of season to get to, I know. I'll take the Jets over the Patriots. I'll take the Chargers over Steelers. The Bills on a mini bye at home, I will take over the Jags. I will take the Packers over the Titans. I will take the Texans over the Vikings. I'll take the Bears over the Colts. I will take the Bucks over the Broncos. Browns over Giants. Dolphins over Seahawks. Raiders over Panthers. The Raiders was another game that I watched, of course, because they played the Vikings, and I was watching for J.J. McCarthy. And the Raiders kind of remind me of the Patriots a bit, because I don't think the Raiders have anything offensively. Even with Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams, I am just not really convinced by their offense. I think it will be better than the Patriots, don't get me wrong. But I still think their offense is probably going to be one of the worst in the league. And again, their defense looks like it's going to be good, but a good defense can only go so far. This is an offensive league. It's been an offensive league. Even the best defense in the world, if your offense is, as bad as the Raiders is, they can only drag you. They can't, the defense has a far less likelihood of putting points on the board, and points are how you win. So it's going to be tough for the Raiders, but we're still early enough into the season that I think they'll be all right here against the Panthers. Baltimore against Dallas, I'll take Baltimore. Chiefs, Falcons, I'll take Chiefs. Bengals, Commies, I will take the Bengals, but I think this will actually be a much closer game than people think. Over here in the NFC, I will take the Eagles over the Saints. I will take the Rams over the 49ers. I think the Rams are going to be very, very good. I know this might look like a bit of an upset, but it is still early on in the season, especially if they do trade Brandon Ayuk. I think, there is some opportunity there for the Rams to really capitalize on that and get a victory at home over the 49ers. I will take the Lions over the Cardinals as well. Moving on now to week 4. I will take Houston over Jacksonville. I will take the Colts over the Steelers. Jets over the Broncos. Chiefs over Chargers. Browns over Raiders. Ravens over Bills. Dolphins over Texans. Bengals over Panthers. The 49ers over the Patriots. Cowboys over Giants. Packers over Vikings. Rams over Bears. Eagles over the Bucks. Falcons over Saints. Cardinals over Commies. And Lions over Seahawks. Week 5. I will take the Buffalo Bills in a bit of an upset over the Texans. I will take the Jaguars over the Colts because the Jaguars always split with the Colts, it seems like. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't remember. Jaguars fans can let me know in the comments because I will be honest with you, the AFC South is the division that I watch the least of. Now with CJ Stroud there, that'll probably change. I'll try to catch more of their games when I have the opportunity. But for the longest time, there was just no reason to watch the AFC South. So I will have to correct that, and I will try to do that this season. So you don't have to come into my comments and tell me I don't believe in the AFC South. I'm well aware. It is what it is. I will take the Ravens over the Bengals, Dolphins over Patriots, Raiders over Broncos. I still like the Vikings over the Jets just because I don't believe in the Jets at all as a team. I think they're one of the worst run organizations in the entire NFL. I think there's a huge amount of assumptions that have to go right with the Jets for them to be the team that people want them to be, and I think the more assumptions you have to make about something, the less likely it'll happen, right? We have to assume that the tackles they brought in, who are both guys well into their 30s at this point, that have not finished a full season healthy in 5 or more years, we just have to assume that both of those guys are going to stay healthy. We have to assume that Robert Saleh will somehow, some way suddenly be more than he is. I haven't seen anything from Robert Saleh as a coach that tells me he's, deserving of the job that he has. And I know that sounds harsh, but I'm just not convinced by the Jets until they prove me wrong. So as much as I think the Vikings are worse without McCarthy, I think they are good enough to beat the Jets. That might be a hot take, but I do not have much faith in the Jets at all. Browns over Commies, Cowboys over Steelers on a mini-bye, Chiefs over Saints, Falcons over Bucks at home, Bears over Panthers, Falcons over Cards, Giants over Seahawks, Rams over Packers. This should be a fun game too in Week 5, Rams over Packers. Into Week 6, I'll take the Titans coming off of a full bye at home versus the Colts. I'll take the Texans over Patriots. I will take the Raiders over the Steelers, Chargers over Broncos, Bills over Jets. I will take the Bears over the Jaguars, Ravens over Commies. Let's see here. I think I'll take the Browns over the Eagles, even with the Eagles on bye at home. I think a bit of an upset for the Browns here. Maybe I'm higher on the Browns than most people, but it is what it is. Bengals over Giants, Niners over Seahawks, Packers over Cardinals, Bucks over Saints, Cowboys over Lions, Falcons over Panthers. In Week 7, I will take the Jaguars over the Patriots. Let's give the Colts an upset over the Dolphins. Bills over that's not the Titans. That's not the Texans. That is the Titans. I will take the Bills there. Bengals over Browns. Steelers over Jets. Saints over Broncos. Packers over Texans. This again should be a phenomenal game. Back-to-back games where the Packers should be in the game of the week, in my opinion. I have no idea what time. This is a noon game, so it can't be the game of the week, because the game of the week is a promotional thing by Fox in their afternoon slate. So that is unfortunate, but for me, that's the game of the week. Rams over Raiders, and of course, this is all just my first impressions, just looking at the schedule. This is impossible to predict because we don't know that the future even exists, right? There are so many millions of variables that will happen before this week even exists. So, again, all of this is just first impressions based on seeing it in front of me on a game-by-game basis. So don't take it too seriously, of course. This is just for fun. Chiefs, Niners. Chiefs coming off of a bye. Niners at home. I think it's pretty stupid to doubt the Chiefs, unfortunately. I'll give it to the Chiefs. Ravens over the Buccaneers. Chargers, Cardinals. I'll take the Cardinals. Vikings at home coming off a bye against the Lions. In my last video, I believe I had the Vikings winning this. I think this is their best chance to beat the Lions still. However, I don't have a lot of faith in Sam Darnold. And I think this will be a close game. And it will give some people some false impressions of both Sam Darnold and the Vikings as a whole. Because I think this will be within 3 to 7 points. But I'm going to give it to the Lions anyway. Falcons over Seahawks. Let's see. Eagles, Giants. Eagles. Panthers and Commies. Give me the Commies. Let's see here. In Week 8, I will take the Texans over the Colts, Ravens over Browns, Jets over Patriots. I think the Raiders can pull an upset over the Chiefs. I feel like they do that every year. And of course, that is a fallacy, I understand. But, division game, Raiders at home, stuff like that. I believe it is possible. Jaguars over Packers. My gut is telling me to pick the Jaguars for some reason. I don't know why. But I will never go against my gut instincts. So, Dolphins over Cardinals, Lions over Titans, Bills over Seahawks, Chargers over Saints, Broncos over Panthers, Eagles, Bengals, give me... This one's tough. I don't know why this is suddenly a tough one for me. I think I will take the Bengals. Steelers over Giants, Rams over Vikings, Bucks over Falcons, Bears over Commies, Cowboys over Niners, Jets and Texans. I'll take the Texans. Titans over the Patriots. Dolphins over Bills at home. I'll take the Bills, actually. Scratch that. Bengals over Raiders. Give me the Ravens over the Broncos. And the Browns over the Chargers. I'll take the Colts over the Vikings. Even with the Vikings coming off of a mini bye. Again, I'm so not sold by Sam Darnold. It's such a pain. Because I was a big McCarthy fan, so it is such a shame that we're not going to get to see him this year. More than likely, at least. I don't think, and of course, I'm not a medical professional. I have no basis in, anything I'm about to say. This is just an assumption. But as I understand it, with a meniscus tear, there are 2 surgeries that can be done. Depending on the severity of the injury and the guidance of the trainers, of course, you can either trim the meniscus, which removes some of the cartilage but is a quicker recovery time, or you can do a full meniscus repair, which does not remove the cartilage but takes significantly longer to recover from and rehabilitate. And as I understand it, with McCarthy being 21 years old, it is far better long-term to do the full repair and not risk potential future complications with having removed his meniscus. I've tried to do some more research on it. I know Joel Embiid for the 76ers has had multiple meniscus trims. And obviously it's a different sport. It's not the same thing at all. Joel Embiid is like 6'11", 7 feet tall, much bigger than McCarthy. Whole lot of different stuff going on there. But if I was the Vikings, I would not want to risk having a star player like Joel Embiid, like J.J. McCarthy, come into a game and have the risk of blowing up the knee again. Because I know Joel Embiid last year, I was big on the 76ers in the playoffs. I thought they were going to do really well. Joel Embiid came in, he played well, he landed hard, and then he was done for the rest of the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't know what the prognosis would look like if you're coming off of a meniscus trim and you're, lining up under center and you've got a bunch of dudes that are 270, 280 pounds running at you at 17 miles an hour looking to knock you the fuck over. I don't know. I think again, I am not a physical trainer. I'm not a doctor. I have absolutely zero experience with this kind of thing, but I would hope they go for the long-term option for that. So we'll see. Anyway, back to the predictions. We have a long way to go. We're only in week 9. Eagles over the Jaguars. Chiefs over the Bucks. Give me give me the Giants over the Commies. I'll take Cowboys over Falcons. I'll take the Panthers over the Saints. I'll take the Bears over the Cardinals. Rams over Seahawks. Packers over Lions this time around. In the AFC, I will take the Ravens over the Bengals. I'll take the Chiefs over the Broncos. I'll take the Colts over Bills in this instance. That's just what my gut is telling me. I'll take the Titans over the Chargers, Bears over Patriots, Steelers over Commies, Vikings over Jaguars. I think, is this the London game? No, I don't think this is the London game. I have no idea. Cardinals over Jets, Texans over Lions, Rams over Dolphins, Panthers over Giants, Falcons over Saints, Niners over Bucks, Cowboys over Eagles. Week 11, give me the Raiders over the Dolphins, give me the Steelers over the Ravens at home, because they always beat the Ravens at least once. There's definitely not a fallacy there. Chargers, Bengals, give me Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, give me the Chiefs, Colts, Jets, honestly give me the Colts again. I just don't believe in the Jets at all. Vikings, Titans, I think if J.J McCarthy here, this would be a clear-cut victory for the Vikings. With J.J McCarthy out, give me the Titans. Browns, Saints, give me the Browns. Rams, Patriots, give me the Rams. Jaguars, Lions, give me Lions. Falcons over Broncos. Do I think the Texans are good enough to beat the Cowboys? Yes, indeed, I do. So we'll take the Texans. Eagles over Commies. I'll take the Bears over the Packers this time around. Give me the Niners over the Seahawks. Give me the Browns over the Steelers. Texans over Titans. Dolphins over Patriots. Raiders over Broncos. Ravens over Chargers. Lions over Colts. Chiefs over Panthers. Give me the Bears over the Vikings. Give me the Buccaneers over the Giants. I'll take the Commies over the Cowboys just for prosperity's sake. There's always some shenanigans going on in the NFC East. I'll take the Cardinals over the Seahawks. Packers over the 49ers. I will take the Rams over the Eagles. Chiefs over Raiders. Colts over Patriots. Bengals over Steelers. Jaguars coming off of a bye at home against the Texans, I will take. The Browns over the Broncos. Packers over Dolphins. Falcons over Chargers. Give me the Seahawks over the Jets. Again, I don't believe in the Jets at all. I'll take the Titans over the Commies. The Ravens over the Eagles. Niners over Bills. Lions over Bears this time around. Dallas over New York. Cardinals over Vikings. Rams over Saints. Bucks over Panthers. I will take the Titans over Jacksonville. I will take the Steelers over the Browns, Jets over Dolphins, Chiefs over Chargers, Raiders over Bucks, Rams over Bills, Bengals over Cowboys. Who did I have in this matchup last time? I don't even remember at this point. Give me the Lions, I guess. Give me the Vikings over the Falcons, Giants over Saints, Eagles over Panthers, Cardinals over Seahawks. Give me the Niners over the Bears, Texans over Dolphins, Bengals over Titans, Jags over Jets, Chiefs over Browns, Colts over Broncos, Ravens over Giants, Bucks over Chargers, Cardinals over Patriots, Lions. This is a tough one. I'll take the Lions slightly over the Bills. The Steelers over Eagles. The Falcons over the Raiders. Well, this is another tough one. Give me the Raiders. Rams, Niners. I don't remember who I had in this matchup earlier. I'll take the Niners, I suppose. Saints, Commies. Give me the Commies coming off of a bye. Cowboys over Panthers. Let's see, it's week 15. The Packers are still in play for the division lead. Give me the Packers off of a mini bye against the Seahawks. Give me the Bears again, still in play for a division lead. Vikings well out of it at this point. Give me the Bears. Let's see, over here. Browns, Bengals. I will take the Browns. Texans, Ravens, Colts, Bills, Broncos, Raiders. Actually, no. At this point in the season, week 16, the Raiders' defense will be banged up. Give me the Jaguars, actually. Rams, Jets, Rams, 49ers. Give me the Bears, or not the Bears. Give me the Lions over the Bears. Give me Falcons over Giants. Give me Eagles over Commies. Give me Cardinals over Panthers. Give me Vikings over Seahawks. Cowboys over Bucks. Packers over Saints. Give me Chiefs over Steelers. Texans over Baltimore. Bengals over Broncos. Give me the Patriots to win a meaningless game over the Chargers. Give me the Jaguars over the Titans. Bills over Jets. Give me Browns over Dolphins. Colts over Giants. Do the Saints win a meaningless game over the Raiders? Do they? Well, is it meaningless? Let's see. Raiders are the 8th seed. They're playing for a playoff spot. Yeah, give me the Raiders. Bears over Seahawks. Give me... Let's see. Give me Niners over Lions. Give me Rams over Cardinals. Falcons over here. Cowboys here. Bucks here. Then let's see. What happens here? Is this a... This is a noon game. Is this the night game? Yeah. So this game... This is for the first seed in the division, right? Like, so if the Packers win here, they pretty much secure first. No. So the Packers win, and then the Niners win. Then I think they secure first. Right? So they'd know that. So they'd be playing like madmen in this random noon game against a 5-10 Vikings team. The Packers will be playing like absolute deranged lunatics to win that game, so that they can secure the first seed in the division. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm fine with that. And then finally, week 18. We're almost there. Give me the Raiders over Chargers, still playing for a playoff spot. Give me the Chiefs over Broncos, even though this game is completely meaningless. Honestly, yeah, give me the Broncos, actually, because I don't think the Chiefs are be playing for anything. Give me the Texans over Titans. Give me the Colts over Jaguars. Give me the Bengals over the Steelers. They're playing for a better seed. Give me Browns over Ravens. Give me Bills over Pats. I'll take the Dolphins over the Jets. I didn't even realize the Rams were 15-1 to this point. I am a big believer in the Rams. I think they'll do very good. 15-1 good, maybe not so much. But this would be a very meaningless game at this point for the Rams, so give me the Seahawks in this hypothetical. I think same for the Niners too. I don't think they can improve their position at all. Even if they lose here, nothing changes. So give me the Cardinals in a completely meaningless game. Does this affect the... It does. Okay. So give me the Packers at home, playing for the division lead. Give me the Cowboys over the Commies. Give me the Buccaneers over the Saints. And is this for... This is the afternoon game. These are both afternoon games, so let's see. So this is not meaningless, actually. This is for the... Oh, no, it's not, actually. So if... What happens to the standings here? So if they're all 12-5, the Lions win. If the Packers beat the Bears, they go 13-4 and claim the division. So the Packers would know that, obviously. So the Bears would not... God, this would be an absolute slugfest if this is, of course, the hypothetical that happens. This Week 18 game would be an absolute slugfest. But if the Lions know that, they'd have to be rooting for the Bears so that they could take first. God, the math in the NFC North just gets so weird. But I'll stick with the Packers. And if that game ends first, then maybe the Lions aren't too concerned with it, because if they end up with the same record as the Bears, but I think if they'd probably be playing for their best possible chance to get the 2 seed. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they want a better matchup in the playoffs. Who would they be matched up here? Cowboys, right? And if they get the 2, they'd be against the Packers, I think. No, they'd be against the Bears if they get the... Oh, they don't even get the 2 seed. They get the 3 seed that way, so they'd be... I'm trying to remember how the seeding works. We'll see, I guess. We'll stick with what we have. Falcons over Panthers, and Giants lose to the Eagles. So let me see how this works again. So it's the 3 seed versus the 6 seed. So if that changes like this, and they get the 3 seed, they'd be against the Bears. Yeah, I'm going to keep that the way it was. Okay, moving on. Now we have reached the playoffs, okay? This is where things get very, very fun. Bills-Browns, give me the Bills in an absolute slugfest. Give me the Chiefs over Bengals. Give me the Ravens over Colts. Give me the Niners over the Falcons. I'll take the Cowboys over the Lions. I'll take the Packers over the Bears. Give me the Packers over the Cowboys and Rams over Seahawks. That's not the Seahawks. That's the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know why I said Seahawks there. Give me the Ravens over the Chiefs. Give me the Texans over the Bills. Give me the Rams over the Packers. And give me... Well, actually, I did Rams and Ravens last time. Give me the Packers and the Ravens. Yeah. And then it still goes to the Ravens in my mind. But that is my updated list for the 2024 NFL season with the J.J McCarthy injury. And again, I know it's pretty unlikely to have 4 teams finish 2-14. I still like the order that this is in. Panthers, Saints, Patriots, Seahawks, I still think is a good 1 through 4. The record might not be exactly this, but honestly, everything up to the top 6, I feel very strongly that these will be the top 6 when the draft comes around in April. So again, this isn't anything too serious. This is all just preseason. I haven't done enough of a deep dive. Oh, goodness, excuse me. I haven't done enough of a deep dive to really confidently say who I think is going where this year. And again, there's so many variables at play. But I feel decently about this. I think all of the teams are in the right sort of tier of where I think they should be. Of course, the big change on this list is the Vikings' record is like completely reversed, and that's just because I don't think Sam Darnold has any hope. I am not a believer in Sam Darnold whatsoever. I think the team is much, much worse without Sam Darnold, or without J.J. McCarthy, sorry. So I think they will do significantly worse, and it's the kind of injury that I feel completely changes how the league will look, because the Vikings, will just not be competitive at all without J.J. McCarthy. So that's the big change. Other than that, of course the Rams are not in the Super Bowl, but other than that, I don't think it's too different. I'd have to go back and look again, but I just felt that it was necessary, of course, to update my predictions with the J.J. McCarthy news. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, well, you know what to do. I will speak with you all again soon, and goodbye for now.